Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to 10 Minutes Daily Cafe Chat. I am Emily. And I am Lisa. Happy Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. Lisa, can I tell you about my parking disaster yesterday?
Oh no, what happened?
I found the perfect spot downtown, but it was so tiny it took me 5 tries to parallel park.
5 tries?
I would have given up after 2 and just parked 3 blocks away. Honestly, I almost did, but I was too stubborn. And a guy was watching me from the coffee shop window the whole time. That is the worst, the pressure of being watched while you're failing. Exactly. Anyway, speaking of cars and adventures, we have a fun lineup today. First, 2 cars painted by the legendary Keith Haring are making their New York debut. Then we're heading to Spain for some seriously hidden travel gems. And we're wrapping up with a traffic nightmare that might ruin your trip to Coachella.
Ooh, I love it. Art, travel, and chaos. My 3 favorite things.
Now, if you're new here, welcome. Every day, we take real-world news and turn it into a casual cafe chat. Just 10 minutes of natural English listening, perfect for your commute or your morning coffee. So if you want to practice every day, hit that subscribe button.
You really should. It is the easiest study habit ever.
Today's keyword is canvas.
Canvas, like the thing you paint on?
Yes. But also way more than that. A canvas can be anything you use to express yourself. A wall, a car, even a whole desert.
Okay, I like that. Like, this coffee mug could be my canvas if I doodled on it.
So you know Keith Haring, right? The pop art legend known for all those colorful figures and bold lines.
Oh, I love Keith Haring. Those dancing figures and barking dogs. You see his style everywhere, on t-shirts, murals, stickers. It is iconic.
Well, it turns out Haring also painted cars, and not just any cars. He actually painted 4 vehicles during his career, and 2 of them are being shown together in New York for the very first time.
Wait, he painted cars? Like the entire car?
The entire car. One is a 1963 Buick Special. It was the first car Haring ever painted, and he gave it as a gift to the architect who designed his famous pop shop in Soho.
That is the most thoughtful gift I have ever heard of. Forget flowers, just hand paint someone a Buick.
Right? And the other one is a 1971 Land Rover that he painted in 1983 for the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. So you've got this rugged off-road vehicle completely covered in Haring's signature symbols.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine driving that thing around? People would lose their minds.
They're both owned by a collector named Larry Warsh, and he usually keeps them in a warehouse outside the city. But now they're on display at a new gallery called Free Parking in the West Village.
Free parking? That is the best name for a car art gallery.
The exhibition is called Keith Haring in the Street, and it runs from April 10th through the 19th. Plus, there's a new book coming out called Keith Haring in 3D on April 22nd through Phaidon.
I need to see these cars in person. There's something about turning a regular, everyday object into art that just makes me so happy. It feels rebellious, you know?
Totally. And it makes sense when you think about how Haring started. He spent years drawing in New York's subway stations, thousands of works, just on those empty black advertising panels.
So he went from subway walls to cars. He was always looking for the next moving canvas.
And that connects perfectly to our keyword today. For Haring, a canvas was never just something you hang on a wall. It was anything that could carry his art out into the world.
I kind of want to paint my laptop now. Just cover it in little doodles.
All right. Our second story takes us across the ocean to Spain. The Guardian just published an article where readers shared their favorite hidden gems around the country, places most tourists never find.
Oh, I am so into this. I went to Barcelona a couple of years ago and loved it, but I know I barely scratched the surface.
Exactly. And these spots are the opposite of Barcelona. We're talking tiny medieval villages, secret wine regions, and landscapes that look like another planet.
Another planet in Spain?
Yes! One reader wrote about a place called Sierra Espuña in the Murcia region. It has these ancient Aleppo pine forests, and right nearby there's an area called Barrancos de Hebas. It is a lunar badlands landscape that formed from a seabed over 10 million years ago. 10 million years? So you're literally walking on an ancient ocean floor. That gives me chills. And barely anyone was there. The reader said it felt like their own secret. Another incredible spot is Ribera Sacra in Galicia. Picture deep river canyons with terraced vineyards carved right into the steep canyon walls. Wait, they grow grapes on the side of a canyon? How do they even harvest them? Carefully, I imagine, but the views from the top are supposed to be stunning. One reader described it as tranquil, natural, and barely a tourist in sight.
That sounds like my dream vacation, honestly. When I went to Barcelona, every famous spot was packed. Like you couldn't even take a photo without 50 strangers in it.
That's exactly why these hidden spots are so special. Oh, and here's one more that I loved. Near Bilbao, there's a town called Portugalete. It has the world's oldest transporter bridge, built in 1893. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and you can ride it across the river for just €1. €1 to ride a 130-year-old bridge? That's the kind of deal I live for. And then you walk around the bay to a charming little fishing village on the other side.
Okay, I'm adding all of these to my list. Forget the tourist traps. Give me the places where you can actually hear yourself think.
I'm with you on that. But speaking of travel and big crowds, is there more? There is. Our third story is about Coachella. The famous music festival is happening right now in Indio, California, and getting there has become a total nightmare.
I have always wanted to go to Coachella. What is going on?
Well, the festival runs 2 weekends, April 10th through 12th and April 17th through 19th. And this year, a massive highway construction project is happening at the same time. Several major roads near the venue are completely closed, and some of them will not reopen until May 4th.
May 4th? So even after the festival is over, the roads are still a mess?
Exactly. One of the main streets, Avenue 50, is shut down between 2 major intersections for the entire month. On top of that, additional roads get closed every weekend during the festival, so basically every route in and out turns into a bottleneck.
I mean, I get that road construction has to happen, but the timing is brutal. Could they really not have waited a few weeks?
That is the big debate. The festival brings in hundreds of thousands of people over those 2 weekends, and about 40,000 of them get shuttled in by bus. Add everyone else driving from Los Angeles and the rest of Southern California, and you've got a recipe for gridlock.
But here's what I don't understand. Is the festival itself actually worth sitting in traffic for hours? I've seen some people online saying they spent more time in their cars than at the actual stages.
That's a real concern. Organizers are telling people to use the I-10 freeway and exit at specific streets like Jefferson, Monroe, or Washington. They've set up designated rideshare zones too, one at Avenue 49 for Uber and another at Avenue 52 for taxis.
So at least there's some kind of plan. I just think at some point you have to ask yourself, do I want to spend my weekend fighting traffic, or would I rather find a hidden Spanish village with no one around?
Are you saying you'd pick the Galician Canyon over Coachella?
100%. Give me a terraced vineyard and some peace and quiet over bumper-to-bumper traffic any day.
Fair point.
But you know, there is something special about Coachella too. All those people coming together in the desert to enjoy music and art. The desert itself becomes this massive canvas for creativity. Okay, I'll give you that. The desert canvas thing is pretty poetic.
You know what connects all 3 stories today? People turning ordinary things into something extraordinary.
You are so right. A regular old car becomes a Keith Haring masterpiece. A quiet corner of Spain becomes someone's favorite place on earth. A stretch of desert becomes the biggest music festival in the world. And that is exactly what our keyword canvas is all about. A canvas is not just something you buy at an art store. It is any blank space where you pour your creativity, your energy, your personality. I love that. Even this podcast is kind of our canvas, right? We start with a blank page every day and fill it with stories. That is a beautiful way to think about it. So remember, look around you. Your next canvas might be closer than you think. Maybe it's your kitchen wall, your journal, or your weekend road trip. Now, before we go, we always want to bring you stories you love. So we have a little question for you today. Which story caught your attention the most? A, Keith Haring's painted cars rolling into New York. B, the hidden gems of Spain that tourists never find. Or C, the Coachella traffic chaos. I'm going with B, the Spain story, no question. Those canyon vineyards and the badlands that look like the moon, I cannot stop thinking about it.
I'm going with A. Something about a 1963 Buick covered in Keith Haring art just gets me. It's a time capsule on wheels.
Ooh, a time capsule on wheels. I like that. So everyone, drop your answer in the comments. A, B, or C. Any language is totally fine, and even just an emoji works. If you enjoyed today's chat, please hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. We're here every single day with fresh stories and new English to practice.
Thanks for spending your morning with us, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Have an amazing Tuesday.